Hey, our friend Ron Schara has stepped away from, of course, weekly hosting on Minnesota Bound, and of course has handed it down to his beautiful daughter Laura and Bill Shirk. And the show continues on KARE 11. We love it. But it's not that he has stepped away from fishing, that's for sure, or hunting. And he is keeping busy, and he is keeping busy joining us this morning in the KARE 11 studio. Hi, Ron.
Well, hi, Bill.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Nice to be with you, too. One of the original stars of Minnesota Bound.
Well, I always called myself at the beginning the token female that did every sport that you didn't want to do.
Well,
but that's not true. There's so many women that do outdoor sports in Minnesota, right. And you do such a great job, and Laura and Bill, of really highlighting so many of those things. In fact, I know tomorrow night we're going to talk about the gentleman who created Buck Hill, which is such an interesting story. Looking forward to that. But before we talk about this contest or pheasant hunting, you know, if you need a calendar, these are so pretty, and I see them every year, but I love the covers. And what's great about these calendars is you have the Minnesota, Wisconsin, but there's such good stuff in there for hunters and fishermen, right? And gals.
Well, the dates are filled with all kinds of information about fishing, hunting seasons, nature things. I mean, when the moose are in the rut, things that you really want to know.
Yes, we want to know. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start out by talking about pheasant hunting, because that is just wrapping up. Tell me about your pheasant hunt this year.
Well, Minnesota has had sort of a comeback in pheasant numbers lately. Not sure, I think there's been increased emphasis on grasslands in southwestern Minnesota especially, so pheasant populations have improved considerably. If we had nicer winters, Belle, they'd be even...
Well, this winter is really nice so far. No complaining,
yeah,
Mr. Schara.
But we have weeks coming up that are... But anyway, we're not South Dakota yet, but it's pretty good. I was with filming with an elderly farmer who loves pheasants and loves conservation awards for his pheasant work on his farm.
Oh, wonderful.
He was 85 years old and still out there.
Well, and that's great.
Yeah, and well, if I can tell a real quick story, we got to the end of a field one day and he says, "Ron, come over here." I said, "What?" He says, "You know, you've had a pretty good life." I said, "Yeah, I have." He says, "You've been hunting and fishing, doing the things you love." I said, "Yeah." He says, "I have too." And he says, "I'm 85 years old and we're still out here." And I said, "I know." I said, "I'm not too far behind you." And he says, "You know all my pheasant hunting buddies?" I said, "What?" "They're all gone."
Yeah.
He says, "I'm still hunting now with my grandson who's in 7th grade.
That's so wonderful.
That's a lesson there.
Yeah, generational.
Right.
That's right. All right, now let's switch gears and talk fishing in the Keys in this contest. Tell me about that.
Well, we were invited to go to the Florida Keys, and I mean, somebody has to do it.
Someone has to do it, yeah.
Right, so we went down there, and I did some fishing. I caught some bonefish, caught some whatchamacallits. We had lemon sharks chasing our bait.
Exciting.
I've been to the Keys before many times, but it's a great place. You know, a former Minnesota Twin, Doug Mankiewicz, lives down there.
Oh, okay.
So we spent some time with him. Didn't get to fish with him. The wind was too bad. And now, through Minnesota Bound and KARE 11, folks can win a trip down there.
With you?
I don't know if I'm going to be there or not. It's for 2 people, and they can find the details.
Well, isn't that great? Everything is on, as you just mentioned, it's on KARE11.com. What a great, if you win this, you give it to someone for the holidays or something like that.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
They could give it back to me. I'd go back down there.
And it's from December, you can enter until December 12th.
Okay.
So that's the deadline, December 12th. Did you know that?
I did not.
Okay, now we know that.
It's not much time.
No, that's not much time. We need to do it quick. All right, well, good.